Most people think of the Mahabharata as a story of a great war, a clash of steel and a roar of chariots. But the epic doesn't actually begin on a battlefield. It begins in the quiet chambers of a palace. It begins with homes, with hopes, and with prayers of parents for their children. Long before the armies gathered at Kurukshetra, the destiny of the Kuru dynasty was being shaped by quiet choices, heavy sacrifices, and the mysterious workings of the divine. Today, we look at three parts that converged to create the next generation of Bharatavarsha. First, there was Vidura. Now we often think of greatness as sitting on a throne, but Vidura reminds us that greatness often lives in the heart. Sage Vyasa saw a noble princess, the daughter of King Devaka, as the perfect match for Vidura. Their union was sacred, built on modesty and discipline. Vidura, the voice of conscience in the palace, entered family life without a shred of pride. His children carried his spark. They were humble, truthful, and learned. In a palace already beginning to tremble with future storms, Vidura's home was a lamp of moral strength. But while Vidura found peace, the royal chambers of the king were filled with a different energy. Gandhari, the wife of the blind king Dhritarashtra, was a woman of immense devotion. When sage Vyasa arrived at the palace, exhausted from his travels, it was Gandhari who served him. Her hospitality wasn't just a ritual, it was an act of pure reverence. Pleased by her heart, Vyasa granted her a boon. Gandhari's wish? 100 sons, each as strong as her husband. The palace rejoiced. They thought the lineage was finally secure. But as we often see in the Mahabharata, the divine weaves happiness and challenge together for a much higher purpose. While Gandhari awaited motherhood, King Pandu was carrying a heavy wound. Because of a curse, he lived in the forest, unable to approach his wives. Imagine his anguish, watching his brother's house filled with the hope of 100 heirs while he remained childless. This is where the story takes a divine turn. Kunti revealed a secret, a mantra given to her by sage Durvasa that could invoke the Devas themselves. With Pandu's blessing and a heart full of surrender, Kunti and Madri called upon the heavens. Through that sacred resolve, the 5 Pandavas were born. From Dharma came Yudhishthira, the truth seeker. From Vayu came the mighty Bhima. From Indra came the peerless Arjuna. And through Madri, the Ashwin twins granted Nakula and Sahadeva. Suddenly, 3 streams of life were flowing into one generation. Vidura's sons brought the conscience, Gandhari's sons brought the power, and Pandu's sons were born of divine grace. So, what does this tell us today? It tells us that service invites grace. Just look at Gandhari. It tells us that truthful acceptance heals. Pandu didn't hide his weakness, he faced it. And it tells us that our children are not our possessions, they are trusts given to us by the divine to serve the world. Before the roar of the Great War, there were mothers praying and fathers trembling for the future. Every home, even yours and mine, stands between desire and duty. But as the epic shows us, when we offer our choices at the feet of the divine, even the most complex paths lead towards the light.